here's a piece of magic. So this is what I tell recruiters, but I also give the side for hiring or for candidates as well. I call this the best type indicator. I know people are familiar with DISC and predictive index, but it's not. But I'm not happy with those because I think they're superficial. So here's the way I do it. I say, hey, if you like to make fast decisions, put yourself on the right of the chart. If you tend to be more cautious and like data to make a decision, put yourself on the left side of the chart. So people can quickly put themselves on left or right. Where would you put yourself on this one, Stacey, left or right?
I think I would be on the left. I like to take time and get all the information.
Okay, so you're on the left. That's fine. So now, see Daisy. So now I have people who, if you're on the top half of the grid, you tend to be results focused and less sensitive to the needs of people. If you're on the bottom, you tend to be people focused and less sensitive to the needs of the project or results. People who are really on the top are totally insensitive to people. People on the bottom are totally, who cares? They just want to have a good time. So where would you put yourself on the vertical axis, the top or the bottom?
Definitely these days on the bottom.
Okay, well, so now I know your personality. If you're results focused and fast, you're the boss. You're dominant, assertive, and confident. And if you're if you really get under pressure, become overbearing. Which is pretty much what I think. Well, if you're on the bottom, you tend to be an engager. People focused and fast, you tend to be persuasive, convincing, and affable. And under pressure, you get real pushy. If you're slow, more cautious, and people-focused, you tend to be a supporter, collaborative, understanding, and diplomatic. But under pressure, you can become kind of bureaucratic and use bureaucracy to slow decisions down. If you're slow and results-focused, you tend to be technical, analytical, probing, deliberative, and under pressure, you tend to be controlling. Those are the 4 attributes. Now, the problem is that this is free. This is the best test. This is pretty cool. Do you think that's pretty reflective of based on people you know, Stacey, and situations you've been in?
I don't think that it is reflective of me, actually.
Well, wait. You said you're slower and team focused. You don't believe you're diplomatic, collaborative, and understanding?
I feel when it comes down to infrastructure in my company, and I'm looking at, like, say, for instance, an ATS or different plugins, I really evaluate the process and look across multiple different vendors.
So you tend to be analytical too. So you tend to be both sides, right? The point of this is what you just explained. When you take the DISC or predictive index, you don't have a choice. You pick an either or. It's what you prefer to do, not whether you're competent to do it. So that's number 1. Number 2, I tell interviewers, if you want to increase your competency in interviewing, is become the exact opposite style. So if you're the boss, slow down, understand how people make decisions and how they deal with people. If you're the engager, understand how people analyze the situation, how people get results. If you're a supporter, focus on results and how people deal with pressure and handle pressure and achieve results. And if you're technical, focus on how people deal and persuade others. By crossing over, you'll actually increase your objectivity in the interview. What we've seen, however, is the best people, which I think in your case, are really good at all of those, and they're situational. They kind of move to the center when they're dealing with different situations. It's not an either or. And it has nothing to do with competency. It's just what you prefer to do. You might be a coach, meaning you can adapt to the circumstances, but are your decisions the right one? Are your team skills the right one? So it has less to do with competency and more to do with preferences and the communication style. And unfortunately, people get screened out during the interview because of this. So I tell people, when you're interviewing a candidate, understand how their style changes over time. And understand how people deal with pressure, because if they move to the extremes outside from the center, there's the people you don't want to deal with.